there's anything that anyone could say that would make us feel anything
Bob Castle from Derby, Vermont.
Incredibly proud of you.
What can you do? You can do nothing.
You're locked down.
How sad it is that we have an American president who agrees to a declaration that doesn't condemn this type of subjugation of human liberty.
He's making treaties without Senate ratification.
Because, of course, China is the master at using these digital health passports to stop perfectly healthy people from traveling, using the pretext here of COVID.
To define how the world should look like, which we want to come out of this transformation period. I respect China's achievements, which are tremendous over the last over 40 years, and I think it's a role model for many countries.
They do what they're told.
20 years old, but happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. I feel 50. I feel 50. That's how you get the Joe age. You subtract 30. Text Joe to -30. And I remember 30 years ago, when I was 50, I felt 20. I remember what I was doing, just like you. I was listening to some good headbanging music. With the lights out, it's the stars around. Here we are now, and I turn on. Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, poofties, bung-eyed heifers, right and rough-winged wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, to another version of Itch News to Us. And who are we? Where are we? Yep, who are we? Thank you, Philo. In the booth, we have Philo T. Farnsworth, College of Musical Knowledge. You're watching Newport's oldest TV news watchers, Newport, Vermont, that is. And here we are. Your tax dollars at work. Yep, see, the money goes from the president through executive orders and stuff in Congress to the Ukraine, to Crypto Boy, kick back to the Democrats, and back to the president. Yeah, okay, funny how that works. And here's our commander-in-chief. Get off my lawn, senile agitation. And here he is right here. Yep, Banana Republic, 50% off. Your assets are now worth half of what they were before Biden got elected. Thanks, Joe. Working out great. The stock market's awesome. And, here's some real news sites for you. For those of you who can hit pause, Gateway Pundit, really good. Revolver.news, awesome. The newspapers are just to make fun of. I'll show you that. It's great. Climate Crisis, again, clintel.org. Look for the retired scientists, those guys here. Don't believe they're crappy models. And if you want to see all the contents on Hunter's laptop from hell, go to MarcoPoloUSA.org, man. It's crazy. But it's all there. And are you mad all the time? Are you really angry all the time? Well, don't be. Ask your doctor about Angachucks for woodchucks and chuckettes. And we have a special Northeast Kingdom version that's about 8 times more powerful than the Flatlander version. Thanks, Philo. In the booth, we have Philo T. Farnsworth, as I said. He's waving. I couldn't do the show without him. He's going to have a beer. We keep him locked in the booth. We slide a pizza in under the door every now and then. You can see his drum videos on YouTube at Terry DeFazio. And they're damn good, man. Damn good videos. He takes apart those drums, man. Anyways, where should we start first? Oh, my God.
Well, maybe that business in China how they're rioting and everything.
Oh, yeah. China. They're making it out to be that the people over there are protesting COVID lockdowns. Well, yes and no. That's part of it. The big part of their lockdowns is to prevent bank runs, Philo. They're having problems over there. And whenever they open up the banks, they get lines around the block and stuff. So it's crazy. And, of course, they are locking people down, welding them in their friggin' houses. and they just had a 10-story apartment building burn or something. These people fried inside, including a little kid or two. It's just sickening. These people, and Biden sucks up to them because he's paid off. You know what? He's paid off by them.
Oh, every president since Clinton has been.
Yeah, well, not Trump, man. Trump put his foot down. That's a damn good thing, too. We were going in the right direction until they stole the election. Okay, because Biden has taken $40 million from Russia, $30+ million, that's a low ball, $30 million from China, $10 million from the Ukraine. It goes to Joe through Hunter. And get this, even the FBI's Louis Freeh, right? The former director of the FBI, he lives downstate here in Vermont somewhere. He had some kind of cheesy, weirdo car accident where he ran off the road a couple years ago.
Huh.
And he was like unconscious on the side of the road or some damn thing in his car. Well, he drives a Suburban, of course, like all the FBI goons do. But anyways, even Louis Freeh, Philo, Louis Freeh has given over $100,000 to a trust fund for Hunter's, for Joe's grandkids, for supposedly contacts in Romania or some damn thing. Like, that's not fishy either, right?
Oh, no.
No, it's all completely above board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For Biden's grandkids, for business referrals, supposedly. And Joe even had 3 secret email accounts, Philo, we find out. One was named, he used the name Robin Ware, and another one, he claimed the name was Robert C. Peters, and another one was J.R.B. Ware. Another one, I think this was number 4, is 67 Stingray. Yeah, the one he gets to drive up and down his driveway because they won't let him out on the street with it. He wouldn't know how to get home, man. And
sounds like our old senator.
Yeah, Leahy. Yeah, well,
Leahy did the right thing and retired after a while.
Yeah, only it was one term too late, and that Dianne Feinstein, it's the same thing. She's completely burnt toast. She can't recognize anybody or anything. They keep her hidden away down in the basement.
Yes, and you know what? They keep getting reelected, don't they?
Yeah, well, Di-Fi wasn't up this term, I don't think. Anyways.
But she'll run again and she'll win again.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of which.
Leahy could have kept running and they'd have kept electing him.
Yeah. Well, I think he might have, be in Vermont, he would have to come out and debate. But that was the hallmark. It was like Fetterman comes out with one debate, and he was burnt toast. Dr. Oz was worse, though. Go figure. He was.
You know, when you can't beat Fetterman?
Yeah, Uncle Festerman.
You know, it's you must be really hated, and Dr. Oz is, because I've watched his show and he is a quack.
Well, not only that, but Pennsylvania, it's got a rigged system like Arizona. They're getting ready to certify this election, and one of the Board of Supervisors in Mojave County said that he had to sign the certification under duress because he said that if he didn't agree to certify the election, he was threatened with arrest and a felony charge, Philo.
Yeah,
they got to look into that. It's crazy what they did. I watched the hearings they had for the Board of Supervisors, Maricopa County, and these people, they're just arrogant. They're going to certify that election. There's so many problems with that election. They should do a do-over, but they won't.
The problem is, Steve, everybody's claiming the other side's dirty.
But we've got signed affidavits and stuff from nonpartisan poll workers who,
I don't believe there is such a thing as a nonpartisan.
I think so. These are young kids. They're still idealistic.
Yeah.
And they're saying, it's too deep to get into here. But anyways, it looks like the FDA says the ivermectin guidance, the FDA guidance telling people to stop taking ivermectin was informal and just a recommendation, the government lawyers are arguing in a recent hearing.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, they weren't directives. They weren't. They were not mandatory. They were recommendations. They said what parties should do. They said, for example, why you should not take ivermectin to treat it. They didn't say you may not do it. You must not do it. They didn't say it's prohibited or unlawful. They also didn't say that doctors may not prescribe ivermectin. But if you did, you would be threatened with loss of licensure. That's okay. I saw the threatening email my buddy, the doctor, got. They threatened to yank his license if he didn't. Anyways, they didn't say it's prohibited or unlawful. They didn't say what doctors may prescribe. One of the lawyers, they used informal language. It's conversational but not mandatory. Oh, sure, yeah. They're going to try and whitewash this. They won't get away with it. And let's see. They're investigating the FDI tweets for ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, the bivalent vaccines, etc. All is misleading. Anyways, let's see. Did you know that Canada has had over 31,000 assisted suicides last year, Philo?
Wow. What did they do? What did they do? Take these guys' hockey sticks away?
It's crazy. They're physician assisted for chronic pain, mental problems, stuff like that. Yep, sure. Yeah, punch your ticket, out you go.
I cannot believe how bad Canada acted during this pandemic. They were even more oppressive than we were.
Oh man, yeah, because they don't have a Bill of Rights. And what else? This is the paper I'm reading this from. For those of you on YouTube, in case the algorithm catches me again, I'm not making this up. It's not medical opinions. I'm just reading what's from the Epoch Times. It's still a real newspaper that's put out by ex-Chinese communists who fled communist China to get to the United States. Yeah. 22 states are calling on Biden to rescind the vaccine mandate for healthcare workers because in light of how vaccines provide little to no protection against infection and the growing awareness of the side effects from the vaccines. Okay? And the Army is seeking to compel soldiers who claim religious exemptions to take the vax anyways. They're doing stuff like prohibiting off-base travel, no promotions, and that's just a small part of the greater push. Let's see. The elite military units try to conduct special operations, but soldiers who continue to object to the mandatory vax are being punished, not physically, but in a way that's forcing them out of the Army. Oh, and get this. The judge in the Epstein deal, Philo?
Yeah.
A federal judge has ordered the unsealing of documents featuring the real names of some of the John Does relating to sex trafficker Epstein. Hoi! Another Irishman.
Yeah. Very possibly.
Judge Loretta Preska ruled to disclose the IDs of a number of anonymous individuals in documents filed by victim Virginia Guifrey against their Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell in a defamation case. Guifrey's lawsuit against Maxwell is trove of documents relating to Epstein, which contain a number of redacted names, some of which the judge ordered unsealed on the premise that the public interest outweighs the pedophile's right to privacy.
Yeah, isn't that something? A 10-year-old cannot get a tattoo. A 10-year-old can't get a tattoo because some kid did that, and the school nurse turned them in.
Yeah, I told you about that with the Vaseline. Yeah,
I was reading about it, and they did arrest the tattooist himself, and the parent and the child.
Yeah. Well, damn it.
But if you want a transgender, hey, we'll help you right along.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
And here we are. FBI veteran criticizes the new special counsel probing Trump. Ooh.
Well, I bet they did probe him.
Oh, they have been. He must be getting tired of it.
Well, he should just get out then.
Okay, here we are. Republicans on the committee on the same day released a report claiming to have uncovered evidence of federal crimes tied to the Biden corrupt family business, including conspiracy to defraud the United States, wire fraud, violation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, tax evasion, money laundering, and violation of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. That's the part where Hunter's laptop shows them trafficking these Eastern European girls and women, Philo.
Disgusting.
Yeah, he's gotten away with it.
Disgusting behavior.
They see the FBI handling of Biden's laptop as a starting point. No kidding. Let's see. Here we are. Judge says White House Secretary Jen Psaki has to sit in for a deposition. Plaintiffs in the case said that Psaki's statements that the administration pressuring Facebook to crack and other companies crack down on dis and misinformation and to ban users showed she had personal knowledge about the communications between officials in big tech, which is an impeachable offense because they're stifling the First Amendment. Oh, and get this. The lawyer who torched the New York City cop car during the Pink Floyd riots, Philo.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
She got 15 months in the joint. And she tried to weasel out of it by saying she was drunk, right?
Yep.
And you know what her name was?
What's that?
Uruj Rahman. Urooj. Uruj. And she's a Muslim. And she was claiming that she should be let off because she was drunk. Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
You have to be the mayor of a city to do that.
Yeah, but if you're a Muslim, you can't drink, right?
Well, you know what? I've noticed is in all these countries. Can you hear me okay, Steve?
Yeah, they can hear you fine now.
Whoops, hot mic. In these Muslim countries, that is banned. But if you're rich enough, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
And I've seen it over and over and over again.
Yeah. I'm so incredibly sorry for my reckless and wrong actions. I don't think there's enough words to express my sorrow and regret. I completely lost my way in the emotion of the night.
The emotion of the night? What was he doing? Playing checkers?
She
was playing checkers?
Yeah, with Molotov cocktails and throwing them at police cruisers.
Ah. A girl after our own heart. A Mazel Tov cocktail.
Yeah.
Oh, Molotov. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Here we are. Who's this Ruskin guy? Rushkin. FBI veteran Mark Ruskin. He says, it's an old trick, says the FBI guy. They're hoping to divert attention away from the congressional investigations to focus on a baseless special counsel investigation, because there's no question that the legacy media is going to jump on board and give this front page attention, while the investigations done by Congress will be ignored or relegated to the back of the paper. Yeah, they really haven't articulated facts which justify the appointment of any kind of counsel, because the only time you're supposed to put in a special counsel is when there's like a conflict of interest, man. You know, it's oh man. Anyway, speaking of which, let me show you about speaking of the paperwork, the paper crap. Here we are. This is from the Burlington Free Press. It's high comedy. It's turned into a 3-page rag now. That's it.
Before it used to be a 4-page rag.
Yeah. I used to get it for real news, but now it's just for comedy. They're saying that the U.S. boosts push for updated COVID boosters. They've already they've put in $435 million, almost $500 million in an ad campaign to get people to take the boosters, and yet between 11 and 13% is all the uptake they're getting. They're even offering people $75 gift certificates or restaurant stuff down in Massachusetts, but they still won't take it.
They didn't offer me anything, and I took all of them.
You're a better man than I am.
I was even supposed to get an ice cream voucher for the first one.
Yeah.
And the state never sent it.
Oh, here we are. Like I say,
you know how I like ice cream.
Yeah. Like Joe, they do the shuffle to get more ice cream. This is just a flat-out lie, right? 10% of California lawmakers now identify as LGBTQRU12C3PO.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're proud of their success, but it underscores the work that remains in their state, such as handling the fallout from measures such as Florida's Don't Say Gay law. There was no Don't Say Gay law. I swear to God, we got to change the music to Pink Floyd. Teacher, leave them kids alone.
Yep.
That's it. Hey, teacher, leave them kids alone.
You know, it's almost like a reverse fascism in a way.
Yeah.
Which is essentially the same thing.
Which bans some lessons on sexual orientation and gender identity. Ban some lessons. It's like, leave the damn kids alone. What's wrong with you, Poivoits?
I mean, well, they are. It's systemic in this country.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gender identity. Or laws in other states. Limiting transgender students' participation in sports. Or blocking gender-affirming medical care. No, they're not participating in sports. You can participate in sports, but you're not going to have a guy waltz in and just beat the hell out of the girls' team because he suddenly let his hair grow long. It's crazy. In blocking gender-affirming medical care for youths, again, these are drugs that have not been tested long-term. There's a whole bunch of people who regretted doing this stuff as kids now that they're in their 20s, and they got problems, man, for everything from hair loss to beards that keep on growing after they stop taking hormone. It's like crazy.
Well, they've been using these break drugs to stop the onset of puberty for years over in the former Soviet bloc, you know.
Yeah, for their Olympians.
They're gymnasts, yeah, they're little girl gymnasts.
Yeah, it's crazy. U.S. Boost posted an update for shots. Updated booster listing. And the first look at the new shots, real-world effectiveness, the CDC has tracked people with symptoms who sought testing at drugstores. Not the people who were hospitalized, the people who've had tests at their drugstores. Is that any way to measure anything? Get this. Track people with symptoms who sought testing at drugstores between September and November. Researchers compared the vax status of those who wound up having COVID with those who didn't. Okay. The new Omicron targeting boosters added 30 to 56% protection against symptomatic infection. It added protection. It doesn't say it gives you any. It just says it added. We have no way of knowing this. Depending on how many vaccinations someone had, how long ago, and their age. And we showed you the charts from the guy in Canada that showed, and it's all over the world in the developed countries, they're showing that the people who are clogging the hospitals and dying of COVID are the ones who've been vaccinated and boosted.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about how there are more cases now for the vaccinated than the unvaccinated, do they?
No, we showed you the charts last week.
Nope, they don't want to talk about that. But there was somebody locally who died from COVID, and of course that was reported as a statistic, and the guy was 96.
Oh, here's another one. Below the fold, front page, Philo. Yeah. You know what? Hey, we're not going to pay for your crap, your crap student loans and your crappy degrees in 17th century French poetry or modern art or God knows what. You pay your loans. You signed for it. You pay it. Okay? Oh, and here's the Young Whiners Project. We told you about these poems before. Here's one. It's about the Grinch. Our Grinch may steal snow this Christmas. Our Grinch may steal snow this coming December 25th. He sat me down to vent about the world that's gone amiss. Our Grinch has been so taxed by smoke that he's turned gray. He's never been an angry man, nor was he so last night. Quite frankly, I've never seen our Grinch look so affright. He spoke about droughts out west, how they have been a plea. He spoke about the weeping ocean of children like Irene. He wants this world to notice all the wake-up calls he brings. He needs us to pay attention how differently he sings. Our Grinch had hoped that we would see the damage we have caused, but we've been too ignorant and looked beyond our flaws. We've raced into a world that we're not prepared to manage. Our Grinch becomes the one who has to carry all the damage. He can no longer hold it back. His heart has shrunk too much. He may be stealing snow this Christmas, but that is just a hunch. By Bella Bailey, 17 of Milton, who's been fed global warming crap since elementary school.
Well, we know that climate change is inevitable. It's going to happen because we fly through space and we interact with other things.
Get this. Did I tell you, speaking of ancient stuff, right? Swamp Viking turned me on to this. And if you Google Indonesian pyramids, you can find it. They found this pyramid in Indonesia that goes back 25,000 years, the civilization does. Wow. We're talking before the ancient Egyptians, before the Sumerians, way back, okay?
To the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Don't get us started on that, folks.
It would go back to the time of the woolly mammoths, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's not a dinosaur. Sure, I understand that.
But this is crazy. And what they're doing is they're running a Netflix special on it. So they've been tight-lipped about the thing, but you can find it. You can find it on the interweb if you go to if you just look up Indonesian pyramid found, and it's crazy. It's like layers upon layers, and they're digging into it now. And the regular archaeologists are like dismissing it because it doesn't fit their narrative. They're saying, "Oh no, that couldn't have been it. You're talking about like Atlantis and stuff like that." It's crazy. It's crazy. And speaking of crazy, here we are. Front page, man. Every day. Beat up on Trump. Beat up on Musk. Beat. We're beating up on Trump because we don't like him. Everybody hates him, man, except the people who he's helped with tax cuts, saving American jobs, tariffs, stuff like that. Yeah, so Trump, bad, very bad. He's very bad. We have to remind you of that daily. And then here we are. The man dress is called a camise, Philo.
So beat it, just beat it.
I didn't know that before. That's camise, because in the end of the show, I always say, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress next to you. And here we are. This is from today's paper. Yep. Officials urge caution on Twitter because if he allows free speech, Philo, everything could go south, and we don't want the wrong information getting out there now, do we?
Well, it depends on who's giving it and who's listening. Now, if you're a neoliberal fascist, you have to agree with us, and then it's free speech. If you don't agree with us, it's misinformation.
It's hate speech.
Yeah, but whatever. Label it as they will. And the same thing goes on the right. If you don't agree with them, they want to ban you.
No. That's the difference. Mm-mm. On the conservatives allow you to say anything you want. You want to say the earth is flat? Go ahead. This stuff is insane. This is Democrat totalitarianism. Officials urge caution on Twitter. Harmful content. In the span of a week, Twitter granted gray checkmark badges to official government accounts and then pulled them. It allowed users to receive a blue check for its $8 service, then halted that. Twitter laid off outsourced moderators who enforce the rules against harmful content, to further gutting its guardrails against misinformation. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy. They want to pipe down everything they don't like, man. And
it was like this in the 60s with the hippies. they were these, reformers, and they were going to do this. And if you said you didn't agree with them, they didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
The same thing as the 60s.
Yeah, but I mean, at least some papers would report on the hippies.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then towards the end of the 60s, you even had hippies starting their own newspapers. And that's how we got in. You get newspapers like 7 Days, the Boston Phoenix, stuff like that.
Haven't heard anything about the Boston Phoenix in a long time.
Yeah.
They used to be a good paper.
Yeah, here we are. This is from today's paper, man. Yeah. Monday, you got a trans article. Tuesday, Ukraine. Wednesday, trans. Thursday, Ukraine. Friday, trans. It's predictable, man.
Is this the Burlington paper again?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, what a rag.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. More Ukraine. Yep. Ukraine on edge for more attacks. Oh, and Whole Paycheck, otherwise known as Whole Foods, is pulling their lobsters. No more lobsters because they say that the what do you call it? The lobster trap ropes are killing right whales. I don't know about that. I just don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And here it is, right here. This is it. It's not. Ukraine tries to restore utilities amid shelling. And whose kids are profiting? Whose children work in the Ukraine or have taken money from the Ukraine, Philo?
Probably our presidents.
The president, Hunter Biden's taken money, okay? Nancy Pelosi's kid has taken money. John Kerry's kid has taken money. And Mitt Romney, of all people, Willard Mittens Romney, his kid has taken money from the Pukrane.
As if they really need it.
Yeah, really. And they wonder why we can't stop them from getting the money. Here we are, right. Here's another one, below the fold. NATO to renew 14-year-old Ukraine vow. The vow, it started with Bush, remember? Bush says, I think we ought to think about letting Georgia and the Ukraine into NATO, right? So you know what happened? Like a month later, Putin invades Georgia. It's like, no, they're not part of the North Atlantic, you fool. And get this. Brussels, law enforcement, 6 different countries join forces to take down a super cartel that controls about a third of the coke in Europe. They had 49 suspects arrested, called in Operation Desert Light, seized over 33 tons of coke. Oh,
regular or diet?
Oh, the good stuff.
Regular or diet?
Everything in moderation. A couple match heads in the morning might be good for some people, like a good brisk cup of coffee, but most folks can't handle it. They just dive into that bag and they can't come out.
Yep.
Niece of the Ayatollahs asked the world to cut ties, and she's been arrested. November 23rd. Yeah. The niece of the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, come here.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. And here we are. Like I said, I should have put in climate change. Monday, Ukraine. Tuesday, climate change. Wednesday, Ukraine. Thursday, climate change. Climate change. This is from yesterday's paper. Climate change on pace to radically alter life on Earth. Life on Earth. Jesus, seas are rising at a millimeter a year. And every rich president, and Obama's got 2 oceanfront properties. He's so scared. 150 years. You got to be kidding me.
You know what the other silly thing is that they're saying? And I took a college science class. They were saying that California is going to break off and go into the sea. But just the opposite is happening. California is rising from the tectonic plates.
It's not my fault. It's the San Andreas.
Yes.
Here we are. Temperatures on our planet have fluctuated based on natural processes many times in the past. But experts say this extraordinary run of warming is different. Oh, so it's fluctuated many times in the past, and we've had CO2 levels higher in the past due to volcanoes and stuff. But, no, it's man-made, so we're going to throw a wrench into the damn gears of civilization. Global temps have risen 1.8 degrees since 1850, Philo.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
We have to do what you said, though. You said we have to watch out for pollution, and we do.
Yeah, stop burning stuff eventually.
Yeah, and we have to, you have to, try to not make the problem worse. But it's going to happen.
And I'm telling you, the thing that really gets me is we should be taking advantage of tidal power, especially in New England, where we have all these rocky inlets and all these bays that you could put in tidal power. It wouldn't interfere with shipping. You could make it so it wouldn't hurt the sea life. No. We're going to waste time on Chinese-made windmills and Chinese-made solar panels. In the past, it took roughly thousands of years for temperature to change that much. Oh, please. Such rapid change is alarming and already disrupting the delicate balance of life on Earth. Okay. Is cold winter weather evidence that climate change is fake? ? No, answer. Winter doesn't just go away because average temperatures are on the rise, says NOAA. A single cold day, a cold snap, or even a cold winter are all examples of weather. Oh, so that's weather. What? It's weather. The term climate change is used more often because it includes the cascading consequences of rising temperatures occurring down the world. Melting glaciers, rising seas, drought, and more. We can't prove, you can't pin drought on it, okay? And fewer people are being harmed by weather-related stuff than they were 100 years ago. Because we've hardened buildings, people stay away from it, and we have better forecasting. It's crazy. What is causing climate change? The Earth's climate, ? The Earth's climate changes through a variety of natural processes, but federal scientists say the rapid experience is primarily caused by human activities that emit greenhouse gases. That's why global efforts to fight climate change are so focused on eliminating burning fossil fuels, the most notable source of harmful greenhouse gases. And here we are, last but not least. What are the 5 effects of climate change? 1. Rising seas. They're heating up the oceans, cause the water to expand and melt large amounts of ice. The higher sea levels aren't just felt at the coast, but also far inland along rivers. Okay. 2. Drought. Mega drought in the west has been supercharged by warmer temperatures and lack of rain. Really? The droughts in the west are something new, Philo? Have you ever seen pictures? I've actually gone there one night. We were tripping one night. Me, Armando, and my buddy Kevin. We'd taken some peyote buttons or something, and we hopped in the car. I had a 68 Chevy 4-door with a 283 V8. It was a rust bucket, but the thing ran great. So we decided, like at 9 o'clock at night, to drive out to, Mesa Verde or one of these pueblos, the ones they built into the cliffs, the Indians did, like 1,000 years ago.
Yep.
So we got there right about daybreak, man. It was crazy. But back then, you could just drive right up. They didn't have any guards posted or anything because people weren't vandalizing stuff or, stealing or screwing with it. That was in the old days when people were civil and acted like it. So we got out, hung around, communed with the spirits and stuff. But what happened to them? The Southwest was once, had normal rainfall. You had all these Pueblo civilizations all over the Southwest, and then suddenly they had a drought, and it forced them to move. And that was long before any of our greenhouse gases. It was 1,000 to 2,000 years ago. That's crazy. Oh, so the drought, a mega drought in the West. Geez, that's never happened before. Wildfires. Drought provides ideal conditions for wildfires. Rain. A USA analysis a century of rain data shows how east of the Rockies more rain is falling in more intense bursts. Now I know they can measure the rainfall, Philo, but how the hell do they measure more intensity? You know?
Maybe they put what they call a jug gun, a radar gun, on the droplets coming down.
Yeah, now, but how could you judge it from 100 years ago?
Well, they didn't have it. They didn't invent that, so they'll make it up as they go.
Oh, yeah, we're just making it up as we go along. We're going to scare the kids and indoctrinate them. Hurricanes. Evidence shows that climate change is causing wetter hurricanes, but scientists say more data is needed. Oh, you think? You think? And here we are. Oh, this is a lick fest. I remember for 4 years we listened to day after day of the press battling with Trump, going after every little thing he said and did. Oh, he tweeted out Kofevi. That meant his brain was going, yada, yada, yada. It was crazy. Listen to this tongue bath of Biden. They put on their knee pads for this one, Philo.
You mean like Ted Cruz?
Yeah. But to observe Biden is also see him walk now, often with a halting gait, in contrast to his trotting on stage on election night 2020. Oh, he trotted. Really. And then they say, oh, well, he stutters, Philo. He stutters. He's always stuttered. Well, you go back and look at from C-SPAN and stuff of his speeches and his press conferences and stuff from when he was a senator. He never stuttered before. Don't feed us this crap.
He was still foolish, though.
Yeah, he's still stupid.
He would say, come out with the most dumb things. You know?
Yeah, this ain't rocket surgery.
No, it isn't.
It is to see him take a pass on a formal dinner with world leaders without an explanation, as happened abroad last week. Yeah, a big dinner for all the world leaders, and Sleepy Joe couldn't take it. Creepy Joe. And when he twice spoke of visiting Colombia when he meant Cambodia. Yeah, it's only on different sides of the planet. He doesn't know where the hell he is.
Nope.
Some supporters wince when he speaks, hoping he gets through his remarks okay. Oh, yeah. Biden's verbal flubs have been the stuff of legend throughout his career, so sussing out the impact of age on his acuity is a guessing game for armchair generologists. Right. Here we are. Based on the scientific team's evaluation of available medical records, family history, and other information. What medical records? They won't release any medical records. I would rather have someone like Trump saying, I'm keeping my income tax records, but I'll give you my medical records because the medical records are more important to me. But Biden won't release his. Nothing's changed. Biden may chronologically be 80. Biologically, he probably isn't. It should be irrelevant. Let's see. Biden says he begins most days with an 8 a.m. workout. Oh, right. He said that he reads his briefing books deep into the night. Sure he does. Now, how come we've never seen any pictures of it?
Hey, Ronald Reagan used to fall asleep during his briefings.
Yeah.
He was younger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, I realize they're boring. And probably you and I would fall asleep too, but still, We're not the president.
Yeah, damn it. Late into the night, meetings with advisors in the evening, never balked at their scheduling requests that may have him out late, though rarely up early. He calls a lid on stuff. He does maybe 1 or 2 things a day and then calls a lid on the whole thing. Yet his aides are deeply protective, especially with his pubic schedule, which is lighter than those of Obama and Bush, both far younger. Oh, deeply protective. No pressers, no questions. Just get back and we'll tell you what to say and write. Let's see. Doctors watch out for. Kevin O'Connor, doctor, noted his gait had become somewhat stiffer. But after testing, the doctor concluded it's mostly a wear and tear arthritis in the spine, compensation for a broken foot, and mild peripheral neuropathy. Oh, okay. Experts say it's not destiny, it's good health fitness. Oh, sure. Ageism pops up in campaigns even when the candidates are both old themselves. Witness Trump's referencing Sleepy Joe in 2020. Hey, he called him Sleepy Joe because he couldn't call him Creepy Joe, which is what everybody called him because he was always sniffing hair and grabbing little girls' chests and stuff like that. You can see all that, man. He was a creep. He still is. Oh, we didn't get to that video. I got video of them coming after these little girls down on Nantucket, Philo. Yeah, here we are. Landslide, Italy. Oh yeah, you see that guy who fell off the cruise ship and tread water for like 18 hours, Philo?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, down in New Orleans. A cargo ship saw him. And then they Coast Guard got him with a helicopter. It was like almost a day later he was sitting there treading water.
They wouldn't do that for me because I can't tread water.
Yeah.
My wife can. You should see her. She doesn't even need to tread water. She just floats.
Yeah. You got to get this thing in your head where you just relax. And that was the first thing I learned when I was a kid, learn to float.
No, I never could. I'd sink like a rock.
Huh. Here we are. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Strange World explores big themes in bold colors. What they don't say is this woke movie's going broke. This movie did so bad at the box office that Disney fired their CEO and brought back the old one. Because this is all woke stuff, Philo, and if you go woke, you go broke.
What was the name of that movie?
This movie that just came out is called Strange World.
Oh yes, I saw the
trailer
advertisements for it, and it's like I am so glad that Disney's it's stuck to them.
Let's see. There's not a lot of mystery here nor nuance to the plot. Energies have been focused on the visuals, and they make the experience worthwhile. That and an appealing collection of human characters that look a lot more like the real world than usually seen in these films. And that's not strange at all. That's progress. Right.
Just the previews turned me off to it. It looks stupid.
It is. It's stupid, but it's the first gay kid, I don't know, something stupid thing. And here we are. Pay with cash and drive less aggressively to save on gas. You want to save on gas? Then start drilling again. Biden, his fundamental transformation, Obama said he was going to fundamentally transform America. And Biden came in and said he was going to stop oil and gas on day one. And he did. And now we're all suffering. And that led to everything, because at the bottom of the ladder of everything is oil and gas. It's crazy. It's just nuts.
And soon we'll end up like the movie The Road Warrior.
Yeah. Oh, get this. This is from the opinion section. This crypto thing with that Hebrew shyster down in the Bahamas there that just went down last week. This goes really deep. Listen to this. FTX is the name of the company, the crypto company. And it says, the New York Times trumpeted a study that showed no benefit at all to the use of ivermectin. Because, see, this FTX thing, he had furnished studies for pandemic planning, for lockdowns, masks, vaccine, passports, all that stuff, right? And so FTX was good at it, throwing hundreds of millions to prove their loyalty to all the right causes. Among them was the pandemic planning racket. There were deep connections between FTX and COVID they cultivated for the past 2 years. So the first one was the ivermectin thing. Why was crypto involved in debunking repurposed drugs? Who knows? Regardless, the study and especially the conclusions turned out to be bogus. Some of the research involved in the Together trial had performed paid services for Pfizer, Merck, Regeneron, and AstraZeneca, all companies involved in the vaccines. For some reason, Sam Bankman-Fried just knew he was supposed to be opposed to repurposed drugs and then funded the studies. And that's just the start. They spent $70 million since October 21 on research projects, campaign donations, and other initiatives. The shockwaves from their freefall has rippled across the public health world. Public health world means give me your money so I can keep advocating to lock people down. According to the organization, the most affected is Guardian Against Pandemics, GAP. The advocacy group, headed by his brother Gabe Bankman-Fried, that took out millions in ads to back Biden's push for $30 billion in funding. His Influence Watch notes Guardian Against Pandemics is a left-leaning group created in 2020 to support legislation that increases government investment in pandemic prevention. He also backed projects from $12 million for a California ballot initiative to strengthen public health, $11 million on an unsuccessful congressional primary campaign of an Oregon biosecurity expert, and even $150,000 to help Monchef Slaoui, scientific advisor for the Warp Speed Vaccine Accelerator. FTX Future Fund, it gets even worse, included $10 million to Helix Nano, a biotech startup seeking to develop a next-generation vaccine, $250,000 to the University of Ottawa, researching how to eradicate viruses from plastic surfaces, $175,000 to support a recent law school grad's job at Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins, that's where we got all those crappy models, remember, Philo?
Yeah, no, I glued one together and it fell apart.
Yeah, it sure did, man.
Yes,
that was because I was all messed up from sniffing the glue.
Yeah, oh yes, follow the science. No, there was no science. It was all models.
Yeah, it was crap. Guardian Against Pandemics spent more than $1 million lobbying Capitol Hill, hiring 26 lobby whores for that pending legislation pandemic plan, which was over $1 trillion that we didn't need, which contributed to inflation. And another pandemic plan called Protect Our Future, backed by the Bankman-Fried brothers, spent $28 million on Democratic candidates who will be champions for pandemic prevention, according to their webpage. Now, let's see. But here's the guy. They sent in the guy who cleaned up Enron, Philo.
Yeah.
And, and I mentioned this. There was an article, I left a comment about Becca Balint, the carpet muncher, and Pee Wee Welch giving their contributions from this Bankman-Fried guy to charity. I said, never mind giving them to charity. Why didn't you give it back to the company? They're in bankruptcy, so some of their investors might get the money back. You know? Why give it to charity? You took the money, you crooked SOBs. Anyways, the guy who they sent in to take care of this mess, he says, never in my career I've seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and a complete absence of trustworthy financial information has occurred here. From compromised systems integrity and faulty regulatory oversight, that would be regulatory oversight like the CFTC. Remember Elizabeth Warren's baby that's going to oversee the consumer financial stuff, Philo?
Goodness.
Well, seems like Elizabeth Warren took a lot of money, and so did the other guy from the oversight committees. It's crazy. They took campaign donations. Let's see. In concentration and control in the hands of a very small group of inexperienced, unsophisticated, and potentially compromised individuals, this situation is unprecedented.
Okay, so you got last but not least.
Okay, and here's one of the compromised individuals. We showed you this girl last week. She's like 28, 30 years old, Philo.
Boy, she looks about 15.
Yeah. Another, a little shiksa. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
She's an Irishman, too. All right, last but not least, oh, my God, I don't know where to begin.
Do it quickly.
Yeah, speaking of gender-affirming care, why would you affirm someone who's got mental problems, Philo? That would be like affirming an alcoholic by giving them booze, right?
Oh, great. Good idea.
Let's affirm anorexia people by giving them liposuction. How's that?
Hey, that's it. Hey.
Yeah, we can affirm their mental illness. Why not?
Yep.
Anyways, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully we'll see you again next week, inshallah. Good Lord willing, as the Hebrews say, the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque. Sniff the bum of the guy in the carees, or a man dressed next to the bum of the man dressed next to you. Head east, worship the meteorite in Mecca, and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar. I knew it. Blam.
I don't believe there's anything that anyone could say that would make us feel anything
Bob Castle from Derby, Vermont.
Incredibly proud of you.
What can you do? You can do nothing.
You're locked down.
How sad it is that we have an American president who agrees to a declaration that doesn't condemn this type of subjugation of human liberty.
He's making treaties without Senate ratification.
Because, of course, China is the master at using these digital health passports to stop perfectly healthy people from traveling, using the pretext here of COVID.
Define how the world should look like, which we want to come out of this transformation period. I respect China's achievements, which are tremendous over the last over 40 years, and I think it's a role model for many countries.
They do what they're told.
20 years old, but happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. I feel 50. I feel 50. That's how you get the Joe age. You subtract 30. Text Joe to -30. And I remember 30 years ago, when I was 50, I felt 20. I remember what I was doing, just like you. I was listening to some good headbanging music. With the lights out, it's the stars, here on